Circle Healing Network.
Hello, welcome back to Circle Healing Network. Today we're going to continue on our series of exploring the Mandela Effect through QHHT sessions. I'm here again with Barbara Becker, who is the QHHT practitioner and the woman who has guided these sessions and has been able to ask the questions of the High Council. If you've looked at the first one or any of our other sessions, you'll know who the High Council is. If not, I encourage you to go back and look at our very first episode in this series, because Barbara explains a lot about what QHHT is, who Dolores Cannon is, and what her legacy is. If not, we also are posting it beneath this video, so you'll be able to hit those links and go right in to find out more about QHHT and Dolores Cannon's work. Today, we're going to continue exploring the Mandela Effect through the various questions that Barbara is asking of my subconscious and the higher council that's coming through in these sessions. So we thank you. Stay tuned and let's see what else the high council has to say today about this Mandela Effect. Thanks.
In this fifth episode, we will be asking about mind control, trance technology, MK Ultra influence, and the most important facets and aspects of the Mandela Effect. Let's watch and experience.
Very good. Now, one question we have is that there are those who feel or are entertaining the thought that the Mandela Effect is a form of mind control, trance technology, MK Ultra method or technique, or something else. Could you address those, please?
Sure. So here again, if we look at mind control, trance, MK Ultra, all these sorts of invented, well, let's talk about what they are, in fact, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So MK Ultra, trance technology are actually using what? Microwave technology, which is what? Energy waves,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So the way in which people are generally affected, and even in hypnotic states, it's through suggestion, which is also the movement of energy from one consciousness to the other consciousness to influence it.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So in fact, the Mandela Effect is all those things. It's where the body, the physical body that is holding the consciousness of a particular, as you will refer yourself, individuals, chooses to relate to. So in fact, some of it is a product of mind control or hypnotic suggestion, let's say through things like televisions and etc., that have been controlling a large part of beings on the planet. What's interesting about the Mandela Effect is if you were to poll the people who are really beginning to recognize this and whose memories are going back the furthest into remembering things like Mandela dying in prison and seeing the funeral processions, etc., are people who have been less mind controlled because they have spent less time in front of the televisions and the other devices that have basically numbed the cerebral cortex from being able to respond to this energetic consciousness we've been describing. You see?
Mm-hmm.
So the real thing has been just almost like, let's just say, Novocaine. This is what the trance or the MK Ultra or all these different things. They've been like, let's just think of it as anesthesia.
Yes.
So it's just numbed.
Okay.
And when you're numbed, or depending on how severely you're out, let's say if you've been put on anesthesia to knock you out for an operation, let's say, so that all of the lines of the sympathetic system has been cut down, so we don't feel pain and all these other things that happens, then some of the things that have been happening, let's say a person dying and then seeming to come back, people say, well, I don't remember that. Well, it was because they were, let's say, being operated. They were so out, they were out cold, And so even though they were living their daily lives, these subtle changes that were happening on these energetic fields by the people who were doing the work, like the Mandelas or the Billy Grahams or whatever, they missed it because they were like sort of just numb.
Yeah, because they weren't aware.
Yeah, their awareness was let's say like if you shot them with some Novocaine, they were just numbed.
Yeah.
And so the consciousness was numb. It's the consciousness that got numbed, and it doesn't have a memory of experiencing that. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes. What is the most important facet or aspect of the Mandela Effect would you like to share through this session?
Peace and harmony. It is designed by Source Creator, Prime Creator, God, any name or title that you want to put on, the absolute source of all beingness is that all of Source's creation should begin to come back together and unite, understand that they are one and all a part of one, and to do it in peace and in love and in joy and in harmony, and begin to work together and see yourselves as the phenomenal consciousness beings that you are, which transcends third, fourth, fifth, any of the dimensions. As these are just levels in grade school, let's say, first, second, third, fourth, all the way up to 12th grade, right? So the dimensions are sort of like that as one grows and expands in conscious awareness.
Mm-hmm.
And so that being the case, it's time to graduate, in other words. It's so much more for all of us. Those of us who are overseeing oversouls and ascended masters and the angelic hosts and all of the keepers, we're ready to move on and do other things too. It's so much more for all consciousness, all energetic fields. And so it's just time to graduate into what is available to humanity on Earth, let's say. You would not even begin to be able to fathom what true joy and happiness and peace and love and all that there is to do and to relate and communicate. You just couldn't even begin to fathom. And so the idea of the Mandela Effect was to do all of this, just to begin to create a playful environment in which you're able to learn and discover the true self.